My name is Jerome Altman. I am the director of the Exodus Drum and Bugle Corps. One of the greatest things that I found was that music is always an encouragement and uplifting, and it gives the kids a chance to do great things in the community.
Good afternoon. We're here at Exodus Institute and we're live, and we have some very special guests here this afternoon. And we're at 816 North Laramie. You could come on in and join us. Hopefully you'll be out here to maybe ask some questions and put your feelings in on what's going on in our neighborhoods and the community, and just speak what's on your mind. Today we have a very special guest. We have State Rep LaShawn Ford. And even though he's the state rep for the 8th District, he also does some things for the whole city of Chicago, for the whole state, where he fights for different things in our neighborhood. We have some mentally ill people that really need some help and assistance in our community. And he's been fighting and doing some things for that. He's also done some things for those that happen to be on substance abuse, where he's trying to help in the rehab on that. The youth, he's fighting for them to get some training for trades. And that's over on Roosevelt. He's trying to convert those buildings that the gas company left abandoned in our neighborhood, in our community, right off of Roosevelt and Costner. And so he wants to put some carpentry and electricians and plumbers and different things over there for our youth to learn how to get some jobs, because everybody can't make it to college. And we're also so proud to have him, because he was one of the youth here in this building up under Mid-Austin Steering Committee with Mrs. Johnson and Miss Ella Mae Robinson. And so we're proud to have State Rep LaShawn Ford, our next Black president.
All right. Thanks for having me. It's great. This is like a homecoming, coming back into this place that I used to come for after-school programs.
Okay.
But it's come a long way. I mean, the last time I was here, literally, you guys were putting things together, and I guess you robbed Peter to pay Paul. And
that's Mr. Altman. I don't know how he does it, but he's the executive director over here, and he has worked some miracles over here. And we have really been divinely blessed, because we really don't get funding from the government or the city. But Mr. Altman has done a magnificent job with what he's done over here in keeping the lights on, the gas, and just doing wonderful things over here. They tried to beautify it a little bit with some pictures and different things. And we're here, though, we're trying to get the After School Matters program over here with the youth. We happen to have Alderman Emma Mintz maybe helping us to get all of those things in, to get that back. But we have some youth here today, some young men that may not know how you did it, even though you grew up here, and I think Ms. Robinson might have whooped you one time, you know, but I probably shouldn't have told that.
That's okay.
But you came through here, came through our neighborhood, and you managed to be the state rep. And like I said, I really believe this, that you are a wonderful politician and a wonderful young man, and we are proud of you.
Thank you.
But all right. We want to know how, we got the young people here, a few of them.
You know, they used to say that about me.
Oh.
Nobody calls me the young person.
The young person, okay. But they need to know how you went about getting where you are. How did you get out the hood, first of all?
Yeah, I'm still in it. I still live in Austin, but the most important thing is to just I would say, one, you got to be based in the church, some type of higher power that you believe in,
Amen.
because it works. And you have to be obedient to your family, to your mother, your father, or whoever loves you the most, and that express their love. It really works out for you, you know. And as a young person, I've learned that there was a lot of things that I really didn't want to do, but I did it out of obedience, and
Okay.
it turned out to be the best things that I've ever did in my life.
Well, you know, we seen you grow up and mature off up into those politics, but it was something that you do that's not in the politics. Most politicians, they're more or less, it's like they don't work for us, but they're big up on the podium. You go out and you actually serve the people of the neighborhoods and the communities, the places that you fight for us in this city. It's remarkable because you're not just in your district
Right.
doing the fighting.
Yeah.
You go all over this state.
Yeah, I mean, wherever there's the need, you know, I feel like I'm with those people, because there's no one. I mean, in my family, I have an apple from every tree.
Okay.
And so if somebody with a drug problem, they're in my family. Somebody with a criminal background, they're in my family. Somebody without a father, they're in my family.
That's right.
You know, somebody unemployed, they're in my family. Someone got killed, that happened to my family. I mean, and I'm blessed to be able to be elected and to have these real life experiences to tell the stories in government and to stand with the people that's struggling.
Well, you are doing a miraculous job. We are very proud of you, like I said. And we're so proud. He actually received an award. He was noticed by this organization, the World Peace Run. And they run all over the world, not just here in the United States. They run through 7 continents all over this world for world peace, love, and harmony. And so they have an award that they pass out to those people that sit back and do things for people all over the world in their neighborhoods and their communities, that sacrifice themselves to sit back and do some things. And on May 25th of this year, the World Peace Run gave our state rep, LaShawn Ford, the Torchbearers Award, and he deserves a round of applause just for that himself.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a real honor, and it actually was a day when I received a award where they taught you even more how to be at peace with yourself and how to make sure that you take time to always, in every situation, find peace. And that was an excellent room.
And you know, he had to do, it was all like evil forces wanted to come in and keep him away from it. It was actually a brief tornado that day. I think you were in the room doing a Zoom call or something. While we were over at, I forget the name of the place.
We were on the South Shore Culture Center.
South Shore Culture Center. And there was a tornado out there.
Yeah.
And we were sitting up in there, and it never fazed us or bothered us or anything. And he had a room to go and do his Zoom call, and it was just a blessing that day. And what he said earlier, he said how he made it from the hood. And our program is Exodus from the Hood, what we do here on this TV program. And it was so important that you mentioned the church, where you came from. It don't have to just be churches. It could be a mosque, a synagogue, or whatever. But you have to have something divine to sit back and help you to get up out of these places. And that's some of the things that's happening with our youth right now. They're sitting back and they're teaching our youth at maybe 6 or 7 years old, the games that they're playing, especially up on all of this TikTok and all of these other things. They're sitting back, they're learning how to shoot and do different hula things, and they're raised up in it, and it's like they're going wild at this present time with those things because they haven't seen anybody with spiritual activities around them. And we have to have programs to sit back here and help our youth with those type of programs. And Mr. Altman has done a marvelous job over here with this building and to take care of some of those programs where we do have Exodus Institute. At Exodus Institute, we do have Exodus Drum and Bugle Corps, where we sit back and we go out in the neighborhoods and do parades and do performances, and we just do all of the good in the hood, and everybody respond to it. But could you mention about those buildings that's over there on Roosevelt and give us an update on what's happening over there so that we could get some of these guys over there for some computer training, some plumbing or whatever?
Well, I got a commitment from Governor J.B. Pritzker that we're going to have money to build a trade school. That was one of my major demands, that we get a trade school. And so we have to have a location where we're going to build a trade school because, as you said earlier, not everyone wants to go to the university.
That's right.
And in fact, it's been proven that going to a trade school could be more beneficial for some people because they don't have a college debt and they start out making $70,000.
Good money.
$30 an hour. So we have to make those opportunities available. The baby boomers are retiring. The workforce is booming.
Yeah.
And the work shortage, we have a real serious work shortage. And believe it or not, the reason why we have a situation where the United States have allowed for the borders to sort of be open is because they believe that this is how we could get some of the workforce into the country.
That's right.
But it's my belief that we have a lot of people right here that's already trained, that have the skills, that should be hired, or that's waiting to be trained, but we don't have the programs to put them in so that they can be trained, so that they can get the jobs that's ready for them.
Well, we're over here at Exodus. We're going to be helping support you up on that. And we know several young men that would be glad to go to carpentry school or to be an electrician or a plumber. Plus, we need them over here in the building.
Yeah, we actually should work together to build a whole inventory, a pipeline, so that we could let the trades know. And I would like to work with you all to say that we recruit people, regardless to whether or not you're already in a trade, but we need to recruit and say, come to us if you want to be in a trade, so that we could show the state, the city, the county, that we have all of these young people, men, women, and young men and women that would like to get into trades, but the opportunities are not there. If we could prove that we have the demand for the trades, that will make it much more helpful.
So you heard that, Mr. Altman? So you're going to be on that, right? We're going to be looking into and getting that. Plus, there's some retired, like you said, the baby boomers.
Yeah.
It's a lot of them that might have been retired, and you're sitting around and you don't know what to do. You're laying around eating up food and watching sports on TV and doing nothing, twiddling your toes. You need to come on out here and support these youth, because they need some men that have done some things and been wonderful to come back and get with these youth and help them out in their destination to learn some of these trades. Come on down here with 816 North Laramie, and we'll be glad to have you come in and to teach. You have to volunteer at this time because we don't have the funding. But it's to give back. Sometimes you have to reach back and help someone. And so reach back and help our youth, because some of them really want to know how to get that direction. Everybody don't have a church. A lot of the youth don't get exposed to church, anything like that, until after they go to another place that we really don't want them to go to. So we don't sit down here and teach negative things to them. We don't go into the religions or anything, but we do speak about spirituality to the youth and understand that there is a such thing as good and evil.
Yeah.
And you have to have some good in you.
But speaking of good, just what is it that a program like this need? I mean, there's two funds that's out there. There's capital money that the state can help with for construction, renovation, and then there's programming dollars.
State Rep, you're looking at our building here. You know, this is an old fire station. From the summer program that we had with the youth, we had a very good 3-on-3 basketball tournament here. And you see, we do need some capital for this. And when Mr. Altman take you upstairs from the snow settling in on the roof, you're going to go up those stairs and you're going to see where we may need a little construction up there, and maybe in our studio room where the floors are a little buckling because of this is an old building and it was a fire station. So I think we could use both of those because that would help with the programming and the repairs of the needs for this building.
So you guys, Alderman, own the building, you could get capital money from the state and you could use it. It's not the city-owned property.
Well, now,
well, we could talk about, the most important thing is that you would be able to get state capital money and use it for the building.
Oh, yes. Thank you. That would be you all please give me a round of applause. It is so wonderful that you have come out here. I wanted to see if there's any questions, and I'm not sure. I know you're running for state rep again, but I mentioned something about president, and I touched on it. You know, now this is the truth. There was another gentleman. He was just a state senator at the time, and he was over here doing a parade with the congressman, a little West Side parade that Danny Davis do, all right? And at that time, he was smoking, and he got out the car. He was Exodus was marching with them and everything. And I told him, I said, you know, this is a long parade. Danny see everybody on the west side in this parade that we go through. And I did mention to him, I said, our first black president. And he to it and became the first black president. And I want you to take heed because there's something divine in you. You didn't just come from, you all see it? You all see it? When I told you we were blessed. I don't know how Mr. Altman do it, but it's something divine over here, and there's something divine in you. And the people, we need you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm going to tell you how Mr. Altman does it in this organization. First of all, true confession. I haven't been the best to the Exodus organization, but yet you guys are still a blessing to me. And when the Lord saw, I don't know how today happened,
Yeah.
but I'm here and I'm so happy that I'm here. But you know, I say all that to say because so often people cut their nose off to spite their face, cut their blessings off and say, I'm through with that person.
Yeah.
You guys could have been through with me, but you didn't cut me off, and I'm so grateful, and I'm 100, just coming here made me realize that we have to work together, and I have to do my part to make sure that I support this organization, and I think people could learn from y'all's spirit.
Yes.
And realize that it's about patience and keeping love front and center.
And you know, I have to go and elaborate upon that because everywhere we would go, no matter where I would pop up, and I kind of sit back and lay and be in different places, and the state rep always gave me respect.
Yeah.
I don't know if he saw the aura over me or whatever it was, but he felt something.
Yeah.
And he always gave me that respect. And he would say, okay, come on, you want to come and speak?
Yeah.
I said, oh, Lord, you know, but I would always come and speak about peace and unity and harmony that we need in our neighborhoods and our community.
Yeah.
Right now, I got a gentleman that don't never say anything. He just sit back and produce this stuff and make things work and run. Mr. Altman, did you have a question?
Yeah, I have a quick question. Mr. Ford and I go back a long, long way. And I just wanted to, I thought about, if you can remember, we did Parade for Gregorians.
Wow, yes.
You had connected
Yes.
us to Gregorian.
The kids, yes.
And then he ended up becoming the governor.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I mean, the band is the band. Exodus band has to be supported because you guys have a template that has to grow.
Yes.
And people are looking for bands all over the United States of America. People look for bands to play for presidents
Right.
in their inaugural parades. So, and it's you know, you see how big Jesse White's tumblers are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we could support a program like this, just like Jesse White's program, and music is something that young people and older people like. And you will draw young people to the program because it's something that they like, and it's not something that they could get at schools. It's not something that they can get anywhere. So this is a unique, valuable asset that should be supported.
And you know, following that up, Exodus we actually came from the church. We started in different churches, and each church was about 10 churches. And they all wanted the drum and bugle corps named after their church. And we sat back, we were over here at Mid-Austin, but we couldn't bring all of the kids over here and make all that noise because of the neighborhood and the community. And so we used the churches and the park districts and different facilities to bring all of it together. And it came up that it should be named. Major Adams bought 6 different organizations, street organizations together back in Henry Warner. And when they came together, and we had all these people coming over from different drum and bugle corps to teach because we were just learning it. And the first song that was played when it came together was Exodus. And that's how the name came about, Exodus, the movement of the children. And we got our security officer over here. He seemed to want to know about, I guess he's trying to get some security stuff together.
Now, what I'm trying to do is actually, I just want to make a comment. And the comment is that I've been knowing Sean Ford for a very long time, and I've been watching his record, his track record, as far as what he's doing in the community. And if I had to grade it, it would be graded A+.
All right.
He's got a lot of things into the community. The bills that he had got passed, he has fought on the floor to get passed, was amazing.
Yes.
Because I've seen it for myself, that this man is for our people.
Yes.
I concur.
That's a wonderful testimony that you brought out. And you see how it is.
Yeah, I mean, one of the bills that I know is very, very important, just this one is big because people all over the state benefits from the bill that I altered and passed with community people, and that is the sealing of felony records. It's a big deal. People are getting their records sealed, and we're going to continue to work to try to make sure that those records not only be sealed, but they become expunged so that they can no longer be there anymore.
Did you hear that, Cecil? Because he said he's working on the bill to get those things expunged from, because we got a lot of guys, man, that getting back in society, they made some trouble when they were youth, didn't have the direction that you had and everything, but they're here now.
Yeah.
And they're here willing to give back to the youth in our neighborhood and our community. If you could feel the love that you're receiving now, this is deeper than just a politician.
Right.
Yeah, this is human.
Right.
Yeah.
Huh? Did you have anybody on the Zoom for a call in? Because we got about two or three more minutes. Anybody? Mr. Brown?
Yeah, I am coming.
Okay.
Yeah, Sean Ford, you know, I'm also African, you know, my people, we looking at the stats when it comes to the government race. I'm glad that you got testify about the center for the kids.
Yes.
And you have always been a strong advocate for the kids. And what I would like to see is, because the last time I seen Governor T.R.I.P.S, because we got him ahead, he gonna win. We got him ahead, he gonna win. But I'd like for you to keep letting him know about the last time I saw him, it was about allocating money for substance abuse.
Right.
You know, because I told him last time, but it wasn't up to epidemic proportion like it is now. Fentanyl.
Yeah, fentanyl is rough.
Eating up the community. I mean,
Every community.
I mean, it's eating it up. And they started bringing in that fentanyl, and the last stats I got on it was that they import enough to kill every man, woman, boy, child in the United States 23 times over. So I'm glad that you is an ear for the people. So let Priska know to continue to send us monies to combat the abuse of
That's fantastic. There's been a settlement, $1 billion settlement, and I'm gonna make sure that we fight together to get that money in our community.
All right. Amen. Amen. Let's give him a round of applause for that.
Yeah.
Now, I live, okay.
Mr. Brown, thank you for that comment. But State Rep, we have a young man here that his parents may not be here any longer, and he had someone to kind of adopt him and do certain things, and he just happened to be sitting here. You all happen to have on the same clothes and different things, and so he has some questions or something that he might want to say, or I don't know if he want to do a dance, but I believe this is Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I think so.
So this is Chosen, and Chosen has performed all over this state I know of, and especially this city. And he might have a few questions he'd like to ask and interview you on.
Did you tell your age, Chosen?
Huh?
Did you tell your age?
I'm 20 years old.
20, okay, all right.
Yeah, 20.
So I know who I'm talking to.
But I really didn't actually have no questions, but I guess I could make some questions up. But one question is, how was the experience of, you know, growing up in this like facility center of Exodus? Like, how was it?
I mean, just having a place to go is what every child and parent needs. You know, somewhere where it could be a safe space. I don't think we've ever had an incident in here where the police had to be called. It's a safe space, and that was important. I mean, I wasn't real big, you know, so I needed safe spaces.
Okay, so, like, was it, I know, like, throughout my life, I have, like,
Throughout his life, you know.
Throughout my life, I have attended to different facilities, different properties and everything. As my Michael Jackson experience, I call it home. And how long did it take for you to call this your home?
Oh, you know what? It's been always. I mean, anytime you go somewhere and you feel safe and you feel welcome, it's a home away from home. And that's why there's some feeling in here, as was said, because I have memories of nothing but good here. Even the discipline that took place here was tough love. I'm a firm believer in tough love. Yes. And so, yeah, it's really good. And I'm very happy that you all are keeping this or rebirthed it and bringing it back to life so that the people in this community can have a safe space. Everybody talk about we should build something new. Well, we got something right here.
Yeah, I agree. One last question. When you see something for a very long time and you grow with it, what was one thing that brought tears to your eyes throughout the transition of years as this place became until now?
Oh, let's say what's really heartbreaking is to see the surrounding areas and how, when we talk about, let's just talk about this space. This space, not just the community, but this space, when I came back and the place was dormant, no lights, no heat, pipes were, ceilings falling down. This was a place that we said, the basement field award, we talked about this being a home away from home, a safe space, but that place was no longer here. But, because you guys have all come together to say, we're not going to let this place be abandoned in the Austin community. This was put back together with love, so it was sad to see the conditions that this building had went down to when it meant so much for the community. And that's what happens in our neighborhoods. Things that mean a lot seem to go away.
It does. Well, I think that's some questions.
Hey, by the way, I used to be 22.
Really?
We want to thank our state rep. Please give them a round of applause. Encourage him to go on in our neighborhoods and our community and vote twice for him for president. Thank you so much, and God bless.
All right.
Hi, we're live here at Exodus Institute, and I happen to have some very nice guests coming on today to speak about some of the things and some of the events that's going on in our community. We're at 816 North Laramie, Chicago, Illinois. Come right on down here to the old Mid-Austin Steering Committee building that is now the Exodus Institute. And we're the old fire station house over here. Come on down and join us on 12 o'clock every Wednesday for these TV programs that we happen to have. This afternoon, I have a very distinguished guest with us. Her name happens to be Mary Hartfield, and she's going to speak about some events that's coming up for Exodus. And Mary, would you like to introduce or say what you want to say to the audience?
Okay, my name is Mary Hartsfield, and I am a volunteer with Exodus. And we're getting ready to have our first annual banquet, and we're gonna award some of our sung and unsung heroes. Okay, it's gonna be, the location gonna be in McCook, Illinois. It's gonna be at the Crystal Sky Banquet Hall, 7941 West 47th Street. And it's gonna be on a Sunday after church. So you all, the tickets are $60 if you want to be able to see a lot of our community leaders. We got a lot of community representatives that's going to be represented that day. Okay, we're going to have Congressman Danny K. Davis, our 7th Congressional District Congressman. We're going to have the Alderman of the 37th Ward, Alderman Emma Mix. We're going to have Senior Pastor Curtis Allen Britt of Restoration Outreach Ministry. We're going to have Pastor Jackie Reed from Every Block of Village. We're going to have Apostle Richard D. Hinton, who went on to be with the Lord, a Monument of Faith. His son, Marcus, going to come and collect his award.
Amen.
We have Willie Wilson, who's running for mayor. He's a business owner. He's a wealthy man. He's going to be awarded. We're going to have Abraham Bolton. He's a former federal agent, and he got blackballed. He was the first African-American detailed by Kennedy. President Kennedy hired him to be the FBI agent for him down in Washington, D.C. And he still needs his name cleared. So we also have Clara Collins, who is a great trailblazer, and she lives in Springfield, but she's from Chicago, and she is 96 years young.
All right.
Okay, we have Pastor Kevin Collins, who's a praise and worship leader, and he does a lot of singing all over the city of Chicago, so you're going to get a chance to even see and hear him. We also gonna have Ganga Washington. She's the former candidate of the 29th Ward. She ran for alderman against Teleferro. And she also the CEO of Women Breakthrough Alliance. We also having prophetess Colinta Rayford. She's a real true prophet of God, and she also going to be rewarded. And then we have James Cannon. I know a lot of them remember James Cannon. He went on to the other side. He's an independent contractor. He also being awarded. We having David Whitaker from Executive Director of Chicago Area Project. Okay, and then we have James Cole, who's gone on to the other side from Sharon King. A lot of us remember him. And we having our own Marilyn Hampton, who's sitting right here, our community activist. She also is going to receive an award. So we have Mary Alice Grant, pastor of Grace and Mercy Missionary Baptist Church. She's 92 years young. Okay, we have Mika Woods from Mildred Franks Foundation, and her husband, Tony Woods, who went on the other side. He also was the building manager of East Park Apartments, and I used to live in East Park Apartments. So when I was even homeless, he gave me an apartment at East Park Apartment. So we having DeAndre Patterson, Destiny Worship Center, and Miracle Revival Christian Center, who also is a well-known singer. He sings all over, and he also, I think he worked with, what's her name? I can't think of her name right now, but he worked for the radio station. So we gonna also have Major Adams from Henry Hornet. You know, he went on to be with the Lord. So, and then George Blakemore is an activist who go to all the meetings. He go to all the meetings, he catch the bus with his bus pass and go to all the meetings, and he give those people hell at the politicians who know they're not doing right in our community. So we having Carolyn Ruff, Women of Faith, Black Lives Matter, and she also attend Trinity United Church of Christ, where Dr. Pastor Otis Moss III is the pastor. Then we have the great woman of God, Diane Spence, who also went on, who used to be, I used to be at work up under her through State Senator Ricky Hender's office, Sister to Sister. She had a non-for-profit called Sister to Sister. Okay, we have Sandra Glenn, Prevention Force Family Center, who also, she passed away. And she was somebody who trained me to do 501c3s, I think 2003, long time ago. So she's a woman of God who went on to be with the Lord. Okay, we have Priscilla Washington, who named her organization Miss Pritzy Productions. And she also attended Fellowship Revival Center, Full Gospel Holiness Church, with Pastor Marco Triplett. Now, she's been in the community over 20 years, and she's trying to get a property across from her building. She's been trying to get this property, and we know that they can give her that property. It's just sitting there, and it's time, because we are taking our community back. So, we also have Richard Barnett, who was a political guru. He went on to be with the Lord, and he is somebody you should know. He knew politics, and he was somebody great. So we have Otto Solomon, who's a cab driver, and he preached the gospel while he drive his cab, and he ministered too. He done been through NA, AA, and all the other things. You know, he's a great man of God. Then we have Elder Luke Austin from St. Luke Church of God in Christ. Great man of God. And so we have Mr. Phil, I cannot even pronounce his name, DeGurato from Buddy Bear Car Wash. And then we have Dorothy Pitchford, who's a grandmother. We have Sherry Washington, who's a singer. So we have Bishop Leonard Kayawa from World Evangelist Healing Worship Center. He's an author, script writer, and a missionary. So we have Margaret Berry, who been with Exodus for years. All her children, grandchildren,
and great-grandchildren
came through Exodus. They have been trained. She had a real little bitty one, like 3 years old. We used to march in Exodus parade, and this little girl knew how to do the praise dance. Okay, we have Silas Purnell from Ada S. McKinley. He gone on the other side, but he was somebody you should know. If your kids was even failing in class, he said there's no failure. He would put you and get you in college. And he will stay with you until you get, you become educated and you pass those grades. He said there's no failure in our kids.
All right.
Okay, and then we have Arthur Robinson from the South Shore Drill Team. I think he was the founder of the drill team. And so we have Dr. Lisa A. Newman from Walking in the Shekinah Glory. So these are all our unsung heroes who will be awarded. So we don't have tables, and if you want to be a sponsor, you can sponsor from $500 on up. Our tickets is $60, so get your tickets while you can, because everybody cannot get in. So I just want to thank you all for allowing us this opportunity to give you this pertinent information.
Can you tell this audience how they can contact you to make the donations for those tickets, or how they can get a table? Is there somewhere to contact?
Okay, they can call me at 312-925-5492 if they want to get a ticket from me, or they can go to Exodus. I think DeAndre, I don't know if he got it set up where they can donate online or not, but if they cannot donate online, they could give me a call and I could tell them how to get the money or get the check to me, or either they can mail the check to 816 North Laramie, Chicago, Illinois, 60651. You want to donate. This money is going to good use. We got bills around here that need to be paid. You can pay these bills, and you can also help one of our youth get trained in Exodus. So we thank you all for allowing us this opportunity to speak with you today.
And we want to thank Mary. Let's give her a round of applause for her coming out. Hey, we're right back over here at Exodus, and I happen to have another guest here with me to my right. This gentleman really don't need no introduction. Everybody know him over here on the west side and the south sides of Chicago. This is Mr. Brown, and he's coming here to give us, in his own way, what it is that he wants to present. I know he's talking about doing a comedy club and a comedy promotion where we need to have a little laughter and harmony in our life after certain things have been going down with this COVID and all of these other things. But Mr. Brown's going to tell you what he wants to do and what he's doing right now. Mr. Brown, you got it.
Thank you, Brother Ed. On behalf of Exodus and Jerome, who's the director over this establishment, I'm grateful. I got a lot of gratitude, y'all, that they allow us to utilize these facilities with the substance abuse meetings that we have here, that Jerome and the staff of Exodus allowed us to be here on twice a week. We got Wednesday nights, and we have Sunday mornings from 10 to 12. And our primary focus is on fentanyl, how it's up to epidemic proportions in the black community. And he spoke on another thing that I'm embarking on too, that comedy thing. If we ever need to laugh, we need to laugh today, because Donald Trump, he started trying to push that racism, and a lot of ethnic groups are getting on board with the racism, but we as black people know that the enemy is playing behind divide and conquer. So what I'm doing with my comedy, we have to address that through humor, which I think is going to be real good for the community. Now, speaking on fentanyl and the cause and effects in our community is at epidemic proportions. And so what I'm doing is having meetings here. So if you got family members that's got a problem with drugs and alcohol, you should get them to come to our meetings, because truly it's affecting not only us, it's affecting the kids and everything, because the parents can't be parents if they getting high every day. I look at it every day. My daughter be trying to hang with other kids, and I'm trying to be a parent, and I'm doing the best job I possibly can do, but the bad influence kids be pulling my child off into that negativity, and so that's a direct effect from the use and their parents on drugs.
I'm so glad you brought up that fentanyl, because we happen to have at the metaphysical school, they showed a film where it's not just here in Chicago and on the west side and south sides of Chicago. This is in all of the major cities in the United States. This fentanyl is being placed out there, not just in heroin and cocaine, but they're placing it and lacing it in other things that's out there in our neighborhoods and community. They were showing the people that, especially in Philadelphia, they were showing some people in Philadelphia, they looked like zombies, the way that they were walking. Yeah. I happened to see a couple of guys right here on Chicago Avenue, right before Pulaski. This guy stood in the middle of the street and went into what is called a nod.
Yeah.
He went into a nod, and the traffic had to go around him. He was in this nod. It had to be over 3 or 4 minutes, but he was stuck in the middle of the streets, and it looked like, I don't know, he might have been dead, just standing up dead. But it's in all of our major cities where we are. And our government has to sit down here, and they're not trying to help it. They seem to be causing it. They don't have the rehab. They're not putting the money in the community. So these programs that we happen to have on Wednesdays from 6 to 8, and on Sundays from 10 to 12. Right. But Mr. Brown is sitting back telling you all, come down, get some help on your own, or have your family members come down, get some help, because it's a genocide that's going on right now in our nation.
And another thing, see, we working with LaShawn Ford. He's got a direct hotline to the governor, Pritzker, J.B. Pritzker. He got a hotline to him, and they expressed that they're going to start going to continue to support these non-for-profit organizations where we are dealing with substance abuse, because we had told Governor Pritzker when he first ran. I had saw him down at Malcolm X Community College, and I expressed to him, I told him, I said, look, man, if we get behind you and put you in there, we are asking that you continue to give monies to these programs for this substance abuse. And he did that. That's why we got behind him again and got him back in there. So we holding LaShawn Ford fit to the fire. He's saying that he's going to have Governor Pritzker aware of the need in the black community for this substance abuse, because I believe if the country's sick through substance abuse, the country can't get well. So they have to adhere to us in the trenches. See, I'm down here with the community. See, I'm a community activist against the addiction of the drug addiction that's claiming souls every day in the black community. And people like Ed getting us opportunities, like on this show right now to enlighten the people. So y'all need to support, and I'm thinking about having a what they call it, a town hall meeting on these Wednesdays too, a town hall meeting, so we can have input from the community. Y'all laying back and they ain't trying to come out. When we put the edict out to come to this meeting, we don't want y'all to have no excuses. We want y'all to get on over here.
I'm so glad you did mention that town hall meeting, because we're here every Wednesday at 12 o'clock, and you can come out and you can express yourself on whatever it is that's going on in your neighborhood and your community. And I want to add something else. They're targeting our children.
Oh, yeah.
They got these candies. They look like gummy bears, but they get you where you want to be.
Right.
There was this fool, this gentleman, this fool that sat back and ran out of candy on Halloween and sat back and started passing out those jelly beans or gummy bears to the children, laced with marijuana or whatever the case. I forget how they break it down. But the parents happened to find out, that this guy, he said he ran out of candy and the kids kept coming, so he started giving them the bags of marijuana gummy bears.
Yeah, because it's a shame that society then came to that point now, whereas you think the kid's getting Skittles, he getting fentanyl laced Skittles. So I didn't take my daughter out this Halloween. I took her to the community church where they had a positive outreach for the kids and gave them candy and stuff at the facility. But see, the thing is, if we just sat back and don't come to these community gatherings instead of just running in the church and hiding and carrying on, we got to start taking back our communities, because these kids are out of pocket. They up against the cell phone. I think the cell phone got fentanyl in it when it comes to these kids. Because these kids,
hold on, Mr. Brown.
Because these
How
kids,
they get the fentanyl in the cell phone?
Yeah, because they want the phone opposed to eat. They rather have their phone than eat, so it's a problem in the black community.
I won't go as far as to say it's fentanyl in the phones.
It's something,
but the children are targeted.
Yeah.
When they're very young and small, they sat back and they've got these games and they are on those phones doing and playing those games. I remember when back in the time, they had this game called Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
And all those kids that came up under that game, they seem to be out here executing those things now. So you can program and train certain things from these youth. From the age of 4, 5, and 6 years old. And so they've been targeted and trained all of this stuff that's going on out here in society. And they don't have, and I'm not trying to put them into no religion or anything, but they got to have some spirituality somewhere. It's got to be taught. And I don't think it's being taught on TikTok and all
that's the importance of having town hall meetings, so what we can talk about what Kanye West was talking about, the dynamic forces that's against our kids. We need to address and not to look on the man as he's crazy. He's really identifying a problem in the black community. People making a lot of money off of took a brother's life with a knife as his wife cried as he died a trifling death when he left his very last breath. So I slept, so watch your steps. So back in the 60s, our brother and sister was hanged. How could you gangbang? See, it's a lot of subliminal suggestions coming through this media and through this music, so I ain't mad at him. So that's why we need to get on board with him and have town hall meetings here at Exodus where we can offset.
Don't hit that table
so we can offset the trend of the enemy. See, that kind of enemy of life, the one that rendered me helpless and hopeless and landed me a seat in this 12-step program. See, I was tore up from the floor up until I learned that I'll be better off not using the illicit drugs. So I don't do the same thing expecting different results. Like the way life going now, we have to support each other. Every other ethnic group supporting each other, and we got to start doing the same thing too. Because if we don't, see, because we in the United States. The United States took the country from the Indians, so it's their country. So we have to practice group economics, open up us businesses, and then at the same token, open up business and start supporting each other. Don't hate on each other, start participating and start cooperating and start congratulating each other. And then we can pull ourselves up out of this rut. Because we shouldn't look to the enemy to help us do nothing. You know, because it ain't his job to help us. It's for us to help each other. And the only way we can do that is start practicing group economics, open up our own business, because I'm sick of Dollar General, Dollar Store, Dollar Tree. I'm sick of all of them. We need to get black tree, colored tree, economical tree. We need to get any tree that bearing our name and our symbols on it, because God gave us He gave us an ordinance to do, to wake the people up. Teddy Pendergrass said, "Wake up everybody, no more sleeping in bed. It's time to wake up everybody. Put your thinking cap on, hang around brothers like Brother Ed and Brother, you know what I'm saying, Jerome, and brothers that like me that don't smoke rocks. I wear rocks, you know, so we can teach y'all, how to do. See, because the cunning enemy of life, he just taking over the whole community. You know, and I'm getting tired of these kids need some men, you know, because they wearing their pants down. You can't tell if they like, you know, they falling over into homosexuality. They getting out of respect for us elderly men, because ain't too many of us men left out there to try to tell these kids nothing.
Well, I have to cut in on this one here, because this is a thing, and when you read in the Bible, and if you go into Revelations, and these times were already told about what was coming and what's going on. And so there's an understanding, and I'm not telling you to go to a church, but you could do this on your own. You can read it for yourself. And to understand that Bible, you have to go back and to look at Daniel's vision also. And then if you go into Exodus, and you'll see these plagues that happen to be going on now. But you got to turn over your will to a divine principle, to a source greater than yourself.
Oh, yeah.
To understand and to pray to God for that help, to help us, to carry us through these hard times.
Yes, sir.
And let's come out together, or go to wherever it is that you need to go to learn and to understand those things. And I want to thank Mr. Brown for coming out, giving this message today. And we'll be right back with another guest later on today. Thank you.